Can you hear me all right? There it is. All right. Hello, everyone. Let me pull up chat and we can. That was hot glue, I promise. All right, let's pull you guys up. Awesome. Sweet. That's sick. Yeah. All right. So, just a bit of a background of what we're doing today. Right now, we're building a temple of Nurgle. I'll say it over here now. We just a couple streams ago, we rolled on the exploration chart in the Mordheim rule book. Wow, I can't talk today. And we rolled a shrine, and we also rolled a shattered building, which together doesn't really mean a lot, but basically the description in the shattered building was a building warped by weirdstone. So we're applying that to the shrine, and we thought, well, together with you guys, we're putting together the shrine in Nurgle, and I thought it would be crazy if like the inside of the building was like a body or like an organism, and the outside kind of like a mimic from D&D, and the outside is like just a building. So I don't know. I'm just kind of making this up as I go, but so far it's looking pretty good. We got a lot to build today. Got my monster, so I don't fall asleep live on YouTube. And we're gonna have some fun. So yeah. Yeah. So this is what we built yesterday. Let's see if I can get a better shot for you guys. We built like this staggered building and then this tower, and I want to build a third steeple or something for this section, and then after that we can do all the gross stuff in the middle with like spray foam and stuff. So should be cool. All right. How are you guys doing today? My day has just been one hectic thing after another, but I'm glad to be here and kind of escape it all a little bit. So, much like this building, I kind of want to have a bit of a peaked roof here. This I do want to be a tower, and so it makes sense to kind of not go off from like here. I want it to kind of be a bit more exaggerated than that. So the center point here should be like right here for this steeple. And then you can kind of build that. And then this will be like shattered a bit. And then I can build out like the bottom foundation here with some pink foam. I think that will be good. So yeah. Sweet. It's always good to hear that other people are hobbying. Makes me we're getting things done, which is always nice. So all right. So we got our little shape here for the type of building. I'll probably kind of stick it out just a little bit, and then we can kind of build around this foundation. Maybe I want it inset. That might be kind of cool, or like at an angle. I kind of just make this up as I go, if that wasn't completely obvious already, but in my mind, the ramshackle nature and of the architecture of Mordheim benefits from that. And I'm going to be saying things that I said yesterday, and that's just going to happen. So sorry if you were here yesterday and I repeat things, but yeah, that's just the way it is. Hey Neil, how you doing? Yeah, I hate to just say like you got to practice this stuff, because it's not really like a satisfying answer, but eventually after practicing it, uh, it just becomes more natural, and that's just like you get to know the shapes that you like to use, and I feel like that's the key to making something look good, is like trying to figure out like what you like and sticking with it, and not being afraid of building something like over and over and over again. It's I mean, if you something I recommend people who make buildings a lot are people who make Minecraft videos. And there's a YouTuber called Fwip, FWIP, and basically his whole channel is making a city in Minecraft. And if you like, making those buildings look unique is just a really difficult thing to do. He has a whole video on how to plan a city, and nobody else in the world like has videos about how to plan cities really. So Minecraft YouTubers are like, it takes a lot of architectural like knowledge to do that type of thing, and we're not doing something super dissimilar than that. We're just using different materials. They're using digital blocks and we're using like panels of foam. So looking at shapes that they use and trying to like round them out a bit, it's super helpful to kind of just see a reference and like apply it in different ways. And that's all they do. They look at a reference photo, especially Flip. he looks at a ton of reference photos, and then he applies it to his medium, which just happens to be Minecraft. So I recommend that a lot. All right. I'm gonna grab a window. You know what? I'm gonna use one of the hanging signs from the building accessories kit. I think that will be helpful. I also have a door I can use for the bottom level. Let's see. So I have about, oh, I have a ruler here. That's nice. So I have about 3.5 inches to work with pink foam. All right. Yeah. I know Minecraft YouTubers kind of get a bad rap, but like as annoying they can be, there's a lot of knowledge there. Another really good builder is Mythical Sausage. He's a little more quirky than Flip. Like it's kind of hard to get past the personality sometimes, but he's a really good builder. So if you can maybe just watch it on a low volume. All respect to him, but sometimes it's a little much for me, so I got this right here. All right, I'm gonna make a couple buttresses, and I'll just like hand draw these maybe. Oh no, you know what? I'll do something a little fancier, I guess. Yeah. I need a spray can. Here. So I want to do like an inset like entranceway. An easy way to do that is to kind of block it out just a bit as far as maybe like an out a corner or something right here. And then with a paint can, all you have to do to make a good arch is squeeze it a little, and then that arch becomes a little narrower. You want to make sure that when you're pressing it in, you're doing it pretty straight, but again, these are ruined buildings, so there's really no wrong way to do this. So all right, so I'm just gonna put that here and just kind of do that. You can see maybe you can't. You can see I just pressed in a little circle right here, and then you just cut it out by hand. So all right. So now you have that. Now you want a door. I do have. I wonder if I have it still. I don't have the round doors printed, but I do have like a Mordheim door. What's the word? Like a template. Not a template. It's like one of these windows, but it's for doorways. It's a 3D printed doorway. I guess I could have said that the whole time, but so you can print that, or you can just print a door. This is 1 inch by 1.75 inches. This doorway. I like printing them because then I can just press it right into the foam, and it takes all the guesswork out of it. Sometimes I don't end up even like putting a door in. I just like press it in as a template. If you're new to the live stream, I'm doing this live stream instead of an upload this week and next week because it's my 11th wedding anniversary. So I'm not going to be able to stay up late tonight or Friday night and edit. So this is just kind of to make up for that. I know I don't have to make up for it, but I don't know, I like you guys, so now you have like 8 times the amount of probably 200 times the amount of content you usually get from me. I do have to say, it has been really nice to be able to, like, when my wife gets home, just like hang out with her, because it's been a while since I've done that. So that's been pretty nice. All right, so let's let this cool first, and then I'm gonna grab some popsicle sticks to do this top part of the front building. Yeah, so let's do that. I said I was gonna build on that corner, but instead I'm building on this corner. I guess technically I could put this one over there, and there's nothing stopping me from doing that. So maybe. All right. All right. Popsicle sticks. This is all my like wood supplies. So I have a bunch of clothespins, wood blocks, popsicle sticks, jumbo popsicle sticks too. Lately, I've been really liking the jumbo popsicle sticks because it just gives me a lot more area to work with. I do use, or I have a bunch of coffee stirrers, but they're kind of too small to use, so I tend to kind of avoid it. All right. All right, so basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting a bunch of timber all over this, just to kind of make it more wooden than like stucco or whatever. Not stucco. What's the medieval? Yeah, I don't know. It's harder to, I don't know. Usually I like have time to like think up this stuff while editing, but anyway, yeah. So I'm just gonna put a window down. And I'm gonna cut it out now while I can. And then we're just gonna coat as much of this as I want. All right. So now I just put my window in like that. I do have an eBay listing, and I forgot to put it in the description again, but it's on the Discord. I'm always around. After the stream, if you want 3D printed windows and you don't have a printer, I'll print them out for you and then mail them to you. There's an eBay listing somewhere. I think it's in the community tab on the YouTube channel. So, yeah. If you need to order it like right now before you forget, you can track it down there. I relate to that. So there you go. All right. All right. So the basic rule of thumb for this is to kind of just do it however you want. Uh, I I mean, I'm planning on planning this as much as the person who built it planned it, and I'm assuming they didn't plan it very much. That's kind of my rule of thumb as far as making medieval houses. Um, uh, I like to use several different like dimensions of lumber. Like matchsticks and stuff like that to kind of differentiate, like, this one was made for this purpose and this one, yeah, just to kind of add a bit of variety. Like this right here would be a good, that would be a logical place to put something like a popsicle stick or a clothespin. Oh, I can bring you closer. There. Yeah. Let's do it. Right here. This would be a really good spot for a gargoyle later, so that's something to keep in mind. Technically, yeah, I could print all my STLs. It helps me to be able to list it on eBay and like be able to price stuff like that. Because eBay will take care of all the shipping information and stuff like that. But if there's something you're interested in, and I kind of started off with the Windows because it was kind of the easiest thing to market. But yeah, I'm open to do whatever. So and then one more after that. This whole section will be done. Put a couple of these in here. All right, so that was easy. I mean, I don't do any of the shipping prices because eBay calculates that for me. But I bet if you went on eBay for the Windows, I'm pretty sure that has international shipping. I'm pretty sure. If you went there, it might calculate. It might give you a good ballpark or something. So I don't know offhand. I haven't shipped to the UK yet, as far as I know. Um, okay, so this guy I broke into two just to kind of bend it, and if I glue it on here while it's kind of keyed into itself, I can kind of cheat and like give it a good bend, and that should give it a lot of surface area on itself and add a bit more dimension. That turned out pretty good. All right. One more section. Oh, I have all that too. Side to glue. All right. All right. So for this section, it's going to be like shattered off. Usually I like to get the popsicle sticks broken off this direction to really like make it look like it's shattered horizontally. So I'm going to break these up a little bit. Oh, wait, I can just break it and then cut it. It's a good one. Ow. Got a splinter. Okay. All right. Yes, so these are just tin snips. They just cut through absolutely anything you put in front of it. So that's kind of why I use it. Like it just cuts through everything, which is really nice. I did get like copper wire cutters, and you probably saw those yesterday or the day before, but these ones just like cut through anything too. I use like hard plastics, and it can be really difficult to cut some stuff, so being able to just cut through anything like nothing is pretty nice. All right, so that'll be a good place to glue in a panel later. Um, a good way to get rid of hot glue, if you have one, is just to like grab a lighter and just kind of go over everything. That's probably nothing new to anyone, but sometimes stating the obvious is kind of nice. You're just like, oh yeah, duh. All right, so let's go down to here to the foam we were texturing earlier. If you weren't here yesterday, this is just a lump of concrete. I'm gonna bevel the corners of this doorway a bit just to kind of make it easier for minis to fit. All right. All right. So that looks pretty good. So this hmm, Oh yeah, that's funny. Hey Pigeon, how you doing? Uh, yeah, this really doesn't kind of it doesn't really fit, does it? Um, Here, let me glue in some jut out places for this. I think that's what I need to help visualize this a little better. If it doesn't fit exactly, oh, you can't even see what I was doing. Uh, so this wasn't really fitting. I mean, it doesn't have to fit exactly. I can just kind of force it, but it would be nice if it fit. So I can just put it on this side of the build over here if it doesn't fit. So it's not really like the end of the world. I'm gonna just add some supports here. All right. How's the music doing today? Is it good? Um, I just kind of let that roll over and didn't really check it. So, all right. So, ah, all right. I'm gonna hold it in place for a little bit. I do want it to lean forward to give it a bit, just because that's how I like my stuff. Um, Stay. Are you gonna stay? You're gonna do it? No. All right, now I just have to wait for it to dry. Yeah, I mean, it's the only way to do it. Build it with trash. I'm Osher the Grouch. All right, they're gonna stay. I have a feeling it's not. Jeez Louise. Don't worry, no one's watching. All right. If this doesn't, oh, I don't have super glue activator. I forgot to go to Lowe's to get more activator. Oh, there's a little left. All right. Maybe I can super glue it. Because we got things to do. I can't wait for this to cool off for a zillion years. Okay, it's working. Man, just like magic. All right. Awesome. my clippers go? Oh, there. Mm, maybe that. I kind of like that. Yeah, I have a point on this building over here that's super glue tips. You can't see it. It's right over here. But yeah, super useful. Definitely keep those. Stay. That looks cool. The tower still looks tall comparatively. It's a good scale. It's small next to this one right here, which is kind of nice. It makes this one look even more impressive, honestly. So yeah, I think that's perfect. All right, I need more hot glue, and then we can move over to the other side and do that last section, and then start detailing. I would like by the end of today to be completely done detailing. We got to cast some gargoyles, and make some from some dollar store animals, which I think is going to be good. So hot glue first, then Um, so that's good for now. This level and that level, for these two sections, actually turned out really nice. Like they're the same height, and I don't ever plan that, but that was pretty nice. Okay, so we have this section. So we, it's kind of hard to, sorry. um, yeah, so I want a different, like, section here. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we kind of steeple it off just like we did that other side, and then we have a bit of a platform in front to kind of terraform a bit and like add stairs, make it a little bit more like traversable. Because as of right now, this bridge and the bridge back here and then the bridge back there, that's the only way to get up onto this platform, which that is a design flaw. We I should definitely make sure that you can get up on here, like there's a safe way, if that makes sense. And then there'd be two other ways to kind of like jump across and whatnot. So we're gonna kind of do the same thing where it's gonna steeple up, probably around the same level, or maybe it should be taller. You know, that's a good width, actually. Typically, typically chapels have like two towers on either side, like of the main, like steeple area. Especially like Catholic chapels. So maybe one is like kind of wooden ramshackle, and then one's like made out of stone. Add a couple buttresses. Or do I want it like sharp? Um, Here, let me do my lights better. Where's the... Yeah. Yeah, I mean, lights are something that I need to do. Usually when I'm filming in here, it's not it's not like super pressing, like, because I can edit it, but I don't know, it's hard to like figure that stuff out live while I'm doing it. So yeah, I would agree with that. This camera I think is pretty good, but that one is just, I mean, it's a couple years old, so I should probably invest in a better one. But yeah, I'm still learning this one because it's relatively new. So, and this whole setup is new, so I'm just trying to figure it out. If you came for like the best looking channel ever, then sorry, you come to the wrong place. All right. Uh, for me, quality of videos and quality of anything is if it's good enough, it's good enough. And I've chosen to be all right with that. I do not strive for perfection in any way, and I'm not gonna pretend like that. Like that's how I want this stuff to go. So yeah. Okay, so tower. So the castle. All right. Uh, where's that pencil? Let's just start sketching something out and then moving, because that's kind of, I'm gonna make myself some problems that I need to solve, and for me, that's a better way to work rather than to like try to like make it perfect. I'd rather have some solve problems to solve, um, and that to me limits my field of view so that I can like continue to progress in what I'm doing. So um, and that, I mean, that's a good way of anything, to do anything, honestly. Anything in life, just give yourself a problem to solve, break it down to its simplest like uh, way of like simplest method, and then just solve it. So yeah. All right, so I got this guy that I want to close off, and I think this would be a nice little like city square area. Kind of got to figure out this bridge a bit. That's a problem for future Aaron. I'm just gonna draw a shape I like and then go with that. I think that's a good way to keep moving. Let's see, where's that pencil? All right. So cool. Knife. All right. So let's get this bit of foam off. I'm probably gonna be cutting into this and adding stairs instead of like going into the road a bit. I think that will, by cutting into it, I'm kind of shaping out the platform a little bit nicer for this building structure. Or I guess I don't have to say building structure, I can just say structure. Yeah, so that's kind of the basic idea. But if it ain't obvious, I'm just making this up as I go along, so. Yeah, it's gonna be perfect. These 2 points basically meet up. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so let's go back down here. I have one door in this building, right? No, I have 2 doors. So I don't need a door on this side. I think what I'll do is I'm going to make an improvised opening. So we can kind of push this in. I have plenty of these windows. Let's see, what level is this? So we can push this guy in. Yeah, let's make that a little straighter. Cool. I'm gonna see if I have any balsa wood left instead of the popsicle sticks, just to add a bit more dimension. If I have some, I think that would be nice. All right. Yeah, perfect. All right. So I got this balsa wood from Michael's and like a giant pack. Um, and this one is just like really nice to cut. You just kind of do one or two passes, and it's an irregular width, which is super nice. It looks like it's been split by hand or run through a sawmill, which is awesome. This is my preferred way to do things. If I had an infinite amount of money, I would buy an infinite amount of this balsa wood in particular. Yeah, like that one's like kind of chunky, which is like not a mistake. It's just a good variety of thicknesses add together to add a bunch of different texture and widths and stuff like that. So dang it. Go this direction. Coming from a guy who constantly cuts himself, be careful when you're cutting through stuff that's like takes a lot of force to cut through, because you can seriously injure yourself. So yeah, not to be your mom or anything, but yeah, you'll thank me later. All right, so now it's as easy as just kind of filling in the gaps. Typically, I always like to do this upright with one piece of wood up to the peak. It just makes it feel a little bit more structural, and especially if like your building's falling in half, having one beam to go up and down really makes it feel like yeah, it could stand. So, um, and that, yeah, it could stand is what exactly what I'm going for. So, I might have to move this window just a bit. It's worth it. Like, just adding this little detail. So, cool. Typically, like towards the foundation, if we're doing like shiplap type building, I think it looks better if this is like vertical planking. I don't know if that's like the proper way to do things, but I figure like water can run off a little easier in this direction, but maybe it's the opposite. I don't know. Just depending on which type like area you live in. Um, sometimes the slats are horizontal, sometimes they're vertical. I put way too much thought into this, but yeah. All right. That's a good section right there. And then you're not late. We let's see, what time is it? We have plenty of time, and I'm gonna be here for a while, so. Oh, sick! A Mordheim map. You know, that's that. I was rolling on. Was it? Is it? Where do you get the Mordheim map? I think that's the serious injury chart. Uh, one of the sections in the serious injury chart is, I think, the Mordheim map. And while I was planning out some builds, I rolled a map and rolled the catacombs, and that was the whole inspiration for that whole build, was building underneath Mordheim. So yeah, that's cool. All right, there's that. That looks good. I think I'm gonna put one of these matchsticks in here just as a trim, and I'll do that with super glue because I do whatever I want. There's no reason. I just felt like it. All right. All right. Stay. Stay. There it is. Is this... Oh, okay. Rolled a 6. All right. That's really cool. Congrats. All right. Um, all right. Let's put in the windows while I'm thinking about it before I get too carried away and it becomes difficult. Um, all right. Just trim this off. Now I'm down here. All right. You know what? I'm gonna break it off to add texture. All right. And then we'll just kind of glue this in here. Yeah, the balsa wood just looks so much better than the popsicle sticks. It's just so much more three-dimensional. Um, so that's pretty nice. Oh, I should have some air dry clay in here. I think that would be a nice touch for like some three dimensionality, like instead of the foam being the stucco, the air dry clay gets to be the stucco, which is looked nice in the past. I'm gonna put some air dry clay over this, so I'm just using some scrap, like really thin balsa wood here, just to kind of stick out of the edge, make it look a little more like dimensional. Like there's a little, like there's some structure underneath it. Um, Let me track down my air dry clay. There it is. This is Nara air dry clay from Hobby Lobby. I think it was like $4 for like several pounds of it. Um, so it's a pretty good price. I just got another pack, but I think I left it in the car. So anyway, I don't know why you needed to know that, but apparently you did. So yeah. All right, so I'm just putting some air dry clay. This is a technique I first saw on MS Terrain Lab. I think they were using Crayola air dry clay. I'm not exactly sure on that, but or maybe DAS air dry clay. It doesn't really matter, but yeah. So I'm using this because it's a little more, it doesn't crack, which is nice. I just apply it directly to the foam and it doesn't really fall off. It adheres pretty well. So that's also really nice. I wouldn't like go testing it, like going I wouldn't go crazy on the air dry clay, but it would probably flake off if you really wanted it to. But it's I mean overall it works really well. So all right, so now we're just kind of working that in. I need to, I want to put a little bead down this section. And then you just grab your lump of concrete again and then just kind of roll it on. If you like stamp it, it's gonna fall off, just because there's not a lot of surface area on it. Yeah, that's better, I think. So you just tamp it down a bit. and it adds a pretty nice texture. I'm gonna do it to this middle section too while I'm at it, and maybe I'll do like a section here as well. I don't really plan any of this stuff out, so just improvise it. Let the material, like if you run out of a material or you run out of patience, let that kind of inform you how your building's gonna go. Like just transition to something else that will keep you stimulated for a little while. And then when you get bored of that, switch over to something else. And it typically works pretty good. So yeah, I haven't changed that unfortunately. Yeah. The description I just kind of pulled over from something else because there's just too many things to think of and I forgot. So, yep. I have to be honest, the last time I checked the description of a video was probably a couple of years ago, so I just thought nobody looked. Till yeah, I just didn't think anyone looked really. Yeah. Give you a closer look of that. Um, I haven't tried a sponge. Usually I just use this lump of concrete because I always have it around. It's kind of my go-to texture for everything. Um, yeah, so I haven't tried that, but if I have a sponge lying around, or I see one at the dollar store next time I'm there, I'll definitely grab it just for you. Now, the trickiest part about using air dry clay while you're still building something is to like not crush it again while you're still building. Uh, and it's just I mean, you should build it in the right order, and I didn't because you know me. So I I don't I don't follow the rules. Yeah. Let's do another. Maybe I should do another window here since they're all kind of that I don't know. That seems like it wants to be here for some reason. So let's let it do its thing. No. Oh. All right. Let's do that. Um, Stick this here. Perfect. All right. Doesn't need to get more complicated than that. Let's just finish this off. Um, so if you've been around YouTube for a while, then you probably know it helps to like stuff on YouTube. If you have been on the stream for a while and you feel like liking the stream, feel free to do that. It helps out a little bit. I don't know exactly what it does, but I've heard people say that YouTube prioritizes streams that get likes, so um and honestly that kind of makes sense. I don't know why I'm questioning it honestly, but yeah. One more to go. Ow. That was hot. All right, so I think for this upper part, I'm gonna go sideways up until like this plank, and then I'll go vertical. So let's see. Ruler. So this floor is almost 3 inches high, and then this floor is almost 4 inches high. This one is 4.5 inches high. So I mean, it just kind of depends. I tend to like going by ratio or like Honestly, I just wing it. I know that's not helpful at all, but uh, having buildings of different scales and heights together really helps. Like you have this whole terrain board and nothing is the same. And if nothing is the same, then you have nothing to compare it to. So, yeah, I know that's not a satisfying answer, probably, but my basic rule of thumb is you can't ruin a ruined building. So just wing it. But my doors are 1 inch high by 1.75 inches. Having consistent architectural details makes sense to me. Having a window that's the same size, that makes sense to have like a certain scale for this type of stuff. But each building is built by someone different. So it's okay for there to be a bit of like differences as far as that goes. Also, there are different races in Mordheim. So if you built it too small, it's a dwarven house or a half foot or you know a goblin dwelling. So yeah, that hopefully that helps. Um, so this one in particular is like 12 inches exactly high. So, but this one is much taller than that. So, honestly, just kind of figured out. I should mention that I have a bunch of templates on my Patreon that are free. You can go download them. If you need help tracking anything down, let me know on the Discord. The Discord's free too, and I can help you track them down over there after the stream. Obviously, I'm a little busy right now, but um, for air dry clay, I haven't really tested it, honestly. Typically, it gets like firm, um, like it's firm now. So I could probably, yeah, it's firm now. So it just depends on what material you put it on, um, and how thick it is. This one I smushed pretty flat, so it dried pretty fast. And then this is Nara air dry clay from Hobby Lobby. So if you get a different brand, it might be different. I always tend to Google stuff like that. As much as people hate AI, it's like Googling specific questions like that. It's really helpful to just be like, hey, how long does this go for or whatever, and then it'll just answer it. So yeah, AI is only good for learning, not for art. That I'm gonna just say that though. If you're learning, if you want to learn like a 3D modeling program, uh, that's a good way of doing it rather than and this is the reason. This is the reason. Uh, I'm the type of person who doesn't do a ton of research when learning stuff like programs. So you don't know the keywords to search. How do you then know how to search like how to do things? Um, it's a little stupid proof, which sometimes I need that. So I'm just gonna be honest. All right. Uh, I'm gonna. I don't know why I got on that subject, but my ADD brain kind of took over. All right. So now we just got this section. All right, and we can almost put this in place next to some of the other things that we've built on the stream. I feel like that was my first breath of the day. I just had my first deep breath of the day, and now I can relax. All right, so there it is. I should let this cure a little longer, the hot glue, or cool off, I guess is the word for it. Um, let's see, do I want any of this other stuff? I could put some air dry clay in like this spot and this spot because there's like an air gap there, and then I could do it here too. So let's just do that. Um, just fill in some unsightly areas. And this could just be like debris from like ash or whatever from the destruction of Mordheim, or this whole building's gonna have like we're making the Temple of Nurgle if you are new to the stream or whatever. And this is something we're making up as we go along. But the basic idea is the outside of this building looks like a building, and then the inside is gonna be like a body, like it's a decaying, like it's gonna have like ribs, and like it's affected by the warp stone, and that's what the warp stone decided to do to this one is just like make this like completely disgusting. And this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. Um, I've had this idea in my head for making like a mimic house almost, but like Nurgle themed. So yeah, it's kind of a weird idea, but yeah, seemed like a good time to pull the trigger. All right, that looks great. Um, I'm always surprised. This stuff is always like better than the sum of its parts. It's just air dry clay, popsicle sticks, a balsa wood. Yeah, that's perfect. Now let's trim off this stuff now that it's cured. Or whatever. All right. All right, let's put it in place. This is gonna go right here. Do something kind of stupid and glue it down with this great stuff foam adhesive to kind of fill in the gaps. Because this interior is going to be like a living body, or dying or dead. I don't know. If it expands at all, it's just going to look like, whoa, sorry. It's just going to look like some gore or something. No one saw that. No one saw that. Now, for the first time of doing this ever, we're going to glue this down with some foam adhesive. Nothing happened before. This is the first time we're ever doing it. All right. Stay. Stay. Look, it's not my fault. The building wants to walk away. It's got some, I don't know, this is a stupid joke. All right. No. Stay. This great stuff foam sealant is, like, I say it in every video I have, but it's also like it's super nice to work with. Um, so if you haven't ever picked this up, it's super cheap. Hashtag not sponsored. All right. Stay. Um, some of them are sold with like a plastic like disposable like trigger, and some of them have a reusable trigger. I've reused this trigger on 3 different cans. You only have to buy it once, and then just like reuse it on every can you use. You just unscrew it and then plug it into the next one. It seals the foam so that you can use it often. Um, so I mean, it's really nice to work with. So yeah, yeah. I'll shut up. All right. Let's get you guys a closer look. Yeah, so that's kind of what we've been doing. That looks pretty good. That's a good question. I think it has like a like alignment thing where it, like, when it's not being pressed down, it like completely seals off. I don't know exactly, but it's really nice. The tip of it I just peel off the foam every time. It doesn't really stick to the plastic um, after it hardens. So yeah. All right. All right. Um, so that foam's gonna take a while. So maybe we just kind of chat for a bit. Um, it doesn't take long, but if I want it to stick permanently, it's gonna like I should probably let it cure all the way before I continue. So maybe we wait till tomorrow to continue that build. Um, and if I were smarter, I would have primed the dwarves treasure hunters so that we could continue with that. But judging from the tone of my voice, I assume you guys know how that went. Um, yeah, so let's just kind of hang out, ask questions. Maybe I'll clean up in here a little. I have some snacks, so never really done this before, but might be kind of nice. So yeah. Oh, this way. See you, Mike. Thanks for hanging out. Um, so it is expanding foam, but usually when expanding foam expands, go figure, uh, it will expand towards the air and not towards, um, and it'll expand towards the air and not like into something, like kind of disrupting it. The way I get around my expanding foam not going too haywire is it'll form a skin over time, and I just like flatten it, push out all the air, kind of like you would with yeast or like bread dough, or I assume. My wife would know more about that, but like if you push out all the air, it's gonna like stop expanding because it kind of like compounds. The more air it gets, the more it expands. Um, so, and I think what you're thinking of is like if you spray this inside of a wall and the foam doesn't have anywhere to expand, it's gonna like break through. This is not that. This is like it has plenty of space to expand, and I'm using so little of it. It'll probably be all right. So if it's a little off kilter, oh no, I ruined my ruin. So I don't mind. Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good opportunity to do that. Here, let's zoom out a little bit. I should probably close this can of air dry clay. So this is my tower board. I have a full video on it if you're interested. Um, like each thing has a build video. That's what I'm saying. Um, the way I make my boards lay out modularly is I make 2 by 2 sections, and I just make sure that the roads that my boards, like each edge of the board has um, the roads on the same sides, like when they enter and exit the road. So I have 4 boards, and this road will match up to another one over here. And if I rotate it like 90 degrees, and I rotate this board 90 degrees the opposite direction, that one should also match up with that board. So that's just kind of how I do it, like modularly. The basic rule of thumb for like making my boards playable is I typically like my boards to be tallest in the middle and then kind of taper out. And then because the boards are modular, you don't want them hanging off like the edge, uh, running into each other when you set them up. And I've learned that from experience. uh, but yeah, so that's kind of, and then I just kind of fill the whole area with buildings. I mean, I hate to say that it's not as complicated as it looks, but honestly, it isn't. So, uh, yeah, it just takes a long time to do stuff like this. Like, I made my full 4 foot by 4 foot board in 2.5 years. So sometimes things just take a while, and some people can do it faster. Uh, yeah, mine just happens to be documented and in video form, so that doesn't make me an expert. It just happens to work out that way. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, so yeah. So I have the entrances and exits for my roads in the same spots, and then I can kind of snake them anywhere I want in the middle of the board. It's just where they enter. So, for example, this board right here, I really wanted this one to be really catching on everything. I wanted this one to be really like dense with buildings. So this section of the roads on these 2 sides, like I just had the road barely on it. It's like curving around it. And then this section, it like goes off right here, and then everything else is buildings. So that's kind of how you can figure that out. This one right here, this was my first board. So it's relatively simple. Like I just had a road go here and here, and then I just filled in the gaps with buildings. Yeah. So I'm not doing anything remarkable. It just happens to be documented. So yeah, it is much simpler than you might think it is. And to like kind of come up with the way the roads cross each other, I'd spent a lot of time looking at maps I mentioned earlier that there's a Minecraft video on how to plan cities from Fwip. He has a YouTube channel, and I watched that video. You just watch a couple, like, I think people kind of overcomplicate like the modularity for how uh, boards and terrain can be. I don't like having a ton of pieces, so that's kind of why I went more like large pieces that I can hang on the wall route. Um, and I was kind of going after MS Terrain Labs, his terrain boards. Like they're like huge pieces of terrain, um, and I just wanted to kind of build what he was doing. So yeah. Speaking of city maps, so you could just see how roads go through on Mordheim. Uh, this is a road and that's a road. You could just see the cluster of buildings here. Like, how are these buildings thought out? And this is what I do with Google Maps too. So, uh, yeah, I mean, it's much simpler than it might seem to do stuff like this. And that's why I make all my STLs free. Like, just try it out. There's not that much investment that goes into it. So that's what I think anyway. Going back to gameplay a bit, uh, something I do try to keep in mind is uh, in California at least, I don't know about other places, but it's like by law that you have two exits from any like housing unit, or like there are like if there's one exit that's blocked off, you have another option. Um, that's a good rule of thumb for any place in your Mordheim board. Like whether you're at the top of this building, you could jump out, or you could go down the ladder inside the building. Um, and this is probably a good example of what I used to do. Like this isn't very modular. Like I can't put a mini and move it around inside. I back here I have another building that is much more like playable. Like all the different places in here I can like fit my hand into, and it looks better. I just my imagination wasn't quite there yet when making some other buildings like this one, and so it's all just a process and trial and error. I just try to make things that look cool, and then if they happen to play well, that was my goal, as far as like just starting out. And then after you play a couple games, you kind of get a feel of like how this stuff plays, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is what I need to do differently. A balcony here would have been really great, or if this whole side of the building wasn't here, yeah. So it's just kind of a process. A lot of my newer STLs I'm printing on my FDM printer, but like let me just show you what I'm printing right now. Actually, um, I'm printing some gibbets uh, with some resin supports because I heard from someone on my Discord that resin supports work fine on an FDM printer. So I would say that my STLs could be used on any printer. You just kind of, you might have to do some trial and error. One of the main reasons why my files are free is because I don't want people to like ask me like, oh, this file doesn't work or this one isn't supported, and I don't have the time to like trial and error every printer, but um, I go back and forth between my resin printer and this one. I prefer this one because it's easier to use, but my STLs could be used on anything. It just depends on how you support it, really. Oh. Oops, sorry. Let me fix this real quick. um, uh, there. All right. Sorry about that. Uh, yeah, and on the Discord, if you ever have an issue with any of my STLs, uh, I'm open to help you guys out as well. Um, that's just kind of a rule of thumb is like I can't guarantee it, so I don't want you to pay for it. That's all that is. So, I have an Elugu Mars 3 and it's working great. I don't have that many issues with auto supporting my files and having them work. A lot of it's just dialing in those first few layers to make sure that they stick to the build plate. And then after that, it just rolls out and it works fine. So, yeah. And then I use the eco-friendly, not eco, it's right here. Um, the plant-based resin from Elugu. My skin, I have a skin condition called not I have a skin condition called I can't even think of it. It's been a while since I said it out loud. Sorry. I have a skin condition that makes my skin really sensitive. So I went with like the more plant-based thing and it seems to not irritate me as much. So yeah. Hey, see you, Neil. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Oh, okay. So for the Summoners Mag, I'm going to be changing up my upload schedule, alternating between live streaming on Saturdays and uploading a video just for my own sanity. It's been 3 great years of uploading weekly, but honestly, I'm I'm really kind of like exhausted. uh, I got promoted at work like maybe 4 months ago, and it's really catching up with me. Like being able to handle everything at once, and I don't know how to say no to things, and so hopefully with this new upload schedule, I also got a collaboration to do with another YouTuber. Um, Kit Bash Chaos. He was in the live stream a couple days ago. He's making an article, so now I'm obligated to make another uh, magazine. It's like I can't believe it's been so long since I've done it. I'm kind of ashamed of it, honestly. But it's something I want to do. It's just a matter of getting in the hobby room and doing it. When my time is limited, videos took priority. So hopefully, by kind of alternating and doing the videos a little differently, I will be able to kind of keep up with things. So yeah. Getting a call. Sorry. Yeah, have a good one. I really appreciate you guys stopping in and hanging out. Um, this build is really turning out awesome. We'll show it off a little. Um, I think, I mean, it might be one of the coolest ones yet, especially with that interior. Oh, that I mean, that's gonna be grody. So, so the Summoner Circle is a magazine for the patrons over on Patreon, just as a thank you for supporting. And I've done 3 months of it, where I every video I did, I made an article of the video, and then I just like made a magazine article about it. And then life got crazy, and I wasn't able to do it anymore. But it's something that I want to do for sure. It's just getting the time to like get on the computer and like design it hurts a little. So yeah. Um, yeah. So, because I've been doing weekly YouTube videos here on for three, I think it's if it's not 3 years, it's like 3 years in October. Um, and I mean, rushing out to get a weekly video out, there's a reason no one man army YouTubers do this. um, and I'm learning that the hard way. Uh, it's a lot of work, and it's something I'm gonna go back to probably. But it's just I'm burnt out. So we're switching it up this week. Whoa, we're switching it up this week because it's my 11th wedding anniversary. This week I can't do an upload because we're out of town, and next week, no, Saturday is my wedding anniversary, like the day. So I gotta like take care of the misses, and then the the next weekend we're going on a trip for our anniversary, and that one's happening for that reason. So yeah, I'm like the worst at talking. So sorry about that. Hey, that worked great. You can see like the foam didn't like make it off kilter. It just stuck it right in place. Um, when you're using the spray foam, you just squish it flat. If there's no air in it, then there's no air to expand in it. So that's kind of the basic rule of thumb. All right, so we got a couple more minutes. We're just hanging out, so feel free to ask questions. It's been really nice to do these with you guys live. Usually I'm just in here alone. So I'm enjoying it. Yeah. Um, yeah, the Summoner's Circle mag, uh, I did for like 3 months. And I just did a video for an article for each video. Uh, and that's like the only Patreon exclusive thing. Everything else on the Patreon's free. I do that because Mordheim's a free game, and I want people to get into it, and that's my way of peer pressuring people into it. So, yeah. And I also, when I got my 3D printer, everything was behind a paywall except for like Thingiverse. And that was really frustrating for me as someone who wanted to create something. Um, like everything is behind a paywall. And when a YouTuber I would watch and admire like would put something behind a paywall and I couldn't afford it, it always kind of made me feel left out. And that's another big reason why I kind of wanted everything to be free and make the Patreon like a free resource, um, so that anyone can do it. And so far, you guys haven't like I haven't had anyone like steal my work and try to profit off of it or anything like that, which is awesome. I'm just waiting for that day, and that day's gonna suck, but it's definitely worth sharing and like putting it out for everyone. So yes, so yeah, so we're gonna add a roof probably tomorrow. Um, and we'll just kind of bridge the gaps. We'll do that live, and it's going to be pretty cool. Um, I don't know if you've been in the chat for a while, but I think it's the first time I saw your name. We're building the our temple of Nurgle. This is something we made up on live stream. So the inside is going to be like it's basically going to be a mimic from D&D, where the outside looks like a building and the inside is all fleshy. So it's going to be all warped by the weird stone. I have some Halloween animal skeletons that we're going to like, it's going to look grody, and I think it's going to look cool. So hopefully it's not like too different than everything else on this board. Uh, but I mean, worst case scenario, I change it. So everything's scratch built. Yeah, I can't wait to see it either. I'm terrified of it in the best way. So yeah, yeah. So make sure you guys like hit the bell so that you get notified. I'm gonna post the link on the Discord tomorrow. If you want to like follow on the Discord, it's a free Discord. Um, Instagram. I well, did I post it today? Sometimes I forget things, so beware. I'm human. So usually I forget things. Let's say it that way. Oh, that's awesome. I mean that means a lot. I I always one of the things I appreciated a lot was Miscast used to no, sorry, Miniac, the other M YouTuber, used to live stream, and just watching him live, how he handled his airbrush helped me immensely. Just going through that process of like switching out paints without even words. I'm a visual learner, so I totally get you. This is just a different way of learning, and I think it's an essential way of learning too. So you don't get all the little details and nuance in if, like 5 minute video. So yeah, I try to get it in there, but I mean it's hard. So yeah. All right, last call. Any other questions before we end the stream? Going once. Oh, I'm from California. Um, I'm like an hour south of LA, an hour and a half. So yeah, it's like 110 degrees right now. It's super hot. Um, yeah, it's not fun. uh, we love our taxes here, unfortunately. All right, one more question. You're required to give one more question, and then we can leave. Oh, uh, the Discord's not in the description. Here, let me add it to the description right now. Um, because if I don't do it right now, I'm gonna forget. So sorry about that. Um, copy link, edit invite, never save. Copy link. I could have sworn it was in here. Um, it's not. Wow. No, here. Oh, I can do it in the chat. That work? There, you have it. Anything else? I'm yeah, thanks for joining me today. If you need help tracking down STLs over on the Patreon, the Discord's a great place to ask me. I know I have a chaotic sorting system, and I'm in desperate need of someone to organize all that stuff in a Google Drive or something for me, uh, so I can post it on like GameFound, and like you guys can print ready all that stuff, like order it. So yeah, I know it's chaotic over there, and sorry. I yeah, I'm not very good at keeping track of all that stuff. Basic rule of thumb though on the Patreon is each terrain board has its own STL pack. Um, yeah, so if that helps you find things, like if there's a video where I introduced it, like the building accessories pack was for this tower board, and stuff like that. So, dude, yeah, there are some amazing crafters. Better, I would say that a lot of them are better than me. Um, so yeah, on the Discord, there's a ton of people that you could get some advice, just say like, hey, how did you do that? And yeah, everyone's daily I see things that are just like mind boggling, and I'm super jealous I didn't think of it. So yeah. All right, well, my wife should be home any second. um I woke up at 3:30 today, and I'm probably gonna take a nap. So yeah, I hope you have a good one. Unless someone has a question. No? All right. All right. Have a good one.